Owning a condo in Toronto used to mean watching your investment grow. Until now. The city has seen record population growth, the city seems busier than ever, yet the condo market has been stagnant. So what's going on? Looking at historical prices of condos in Toronto, you can see they have constantly been moving upwards in price. In 2017, they just rocketed up, and then 2018 was kind of stagnant with a bit of smaller growth, but then things picked up again and growth continued until 2020. We all know what happened there: pandemic, lockdown. Everyone said, I'm going to go live in Muskoka and be one with nature. The condo supply jumped because of this, and price growth slowed down for a bit until prices rebounded in 2021. Then the entire real estate market, not just the condo market, peaked in February and March of 2022, and it was all downhill from there, with 6 months or so, depending on the area, of declines in price. In terms of where we are today, prices are right around fall of 2021 levels. Looking back at the past 6 months, the average condo prices peaked at $732,000, and the low was just above $709,000. That's a $23,000 difference between the highest and lowest price average. Pretty flat. And with March stats just coming out a few days ago, we can see the average sold price for condos in the city was $729,000. So from September 6 months ago to today, prices are relatively the same. So why are we seeing this? Well, let's go direct to the suppliers, the developers. The pre-construction market in Toronto has been extremely strong for decades. That was until rising interest rates and material costs hit the market hard. Q3 of 2023 saw a 10-year low in pre-construction condo sales, and then the final quarter of 2023 saw a 15-year low. If you watch my channel, you would know how weak the pre-con condo market has gotten and how many developers are going under. To put where we are today in the pre-con condo market into perspective, listen to these stats. 2023 pre-con condo sales were down 41% from 2022 and 58% from 2021. During a new project sales launch, developers sold, on average, 48% of their units in 2023. That number was 65% in 2022 and an astonishing 82% in 2021. And those sales launch numbers aren't just a trend from the past 2 or 3 years. The 10-year average has been 68% of units sold during sales launch. Now, buyers may be hopeful hearing those stats and say, well, this is great news. Prices are going to drop because no one's buying, and so there will be hundreds, if not thousands, of empty condo units looking for a buyer. But this isn't the case. Prices have remained pretty flat, hence the stagnant condo market I'm talking about today. And a weak pre-construction market only means more expensive condos in the future. Why is that? Well, think about the chain effect here. I'm a developer. I have extremely high costs for this 500-unit condo I'm building. And I have my bottom line I need to meet because I'm not a charity. I'm trying to make money. The building is complete, but only 300 units out of the 500 have sold. Now, I'm missing the money I need to get my other condo project into its next phase. The other condo project gets delayed a year because we don't want the project to be complete in 2024 when no one's buying condos that year. We then start running out of money, so we delay the project by another year because we can't afford to finish it now. Now, I'm left with a half-finished condo, no money, and I'm definitely not starting any more projects when the City of Toronto wants exorbitant amounts of money from me just to break ground. I can't find any half-decent laborers at a good hourly rate, and materials cost me more than what I can sell them for as a completed condo. This is the thought process developers in Toronto and the GTA have already gone through. And that's why we are at a record low for number of new construction project launches. No incentive to build means nothing gets built. And if nothing gets built, then supply falls. And once supply falls, we're back to square one of having low inventory and high prices. You may be thinking, well, that's okay because we don't need the pre-construction market. The sellers in the resale market will have to just lower their prices because at the end of the day, no one can afford to pay $1,000 a square foot while dishing out nearly $1 a square foot a month in maintenance fees. But sellers in the condo market in Toronto aren't as willing to cut their list price as much as sellers in the freehold home market are. That's because most freehold homes are owner occupied. And so if you got to move because of divorce, death, a new birth, job change, or whatever life event, then you got to move. And that means cutting price in a slow market, because at the end of the day, you need to sell that house. For condos, around 60% of them are owned by investors, meaning that the majority of condos in Toronto are either empty or have a tenant in them. And the owner of that condo is thinking only about cash flow and their investment. There's no emotion at play. So their bottom line is their bottom line. And that condo will sit on the market for 365 days if it has to before it sells. This creates a market where prices aren't ever going to drop significantly unless there is something major going on economically. You then have the buyer side of this, where the buyers are also mainly investors, so they aren't going to pay more than they need to. And so the same principle applies, where prices aren't going to just jump because the buyers also have their max purchase limit. But in addition to that, the investor buying has slowed down quite a bit, not just because the numbers don't add up for them, but there isn't as much appeal to being a landlord as there used to be. There are just too many horror stories with bad tenants and LTV backlogs that have landlords losing interest in the city of Toronto. You may be listening to what I'm saying and thinking, so all of this is good news for short-term prices in condos, and prices should be dropping. So why are they staying the same? Well, there's just the right amount of demand to where enough units are moving still that prices have no need to drop significantly. First-time buyers can't enter this condo market unless they have parents to help out or a good chunk of change, which most people don't. So the people helping keep the condo prices somewhat afloat right now are those who are already in the real estate market and own a property, because they can use that equity to move into another condo. But it's not enough equity to move into the freehold housing market and get themselves a detached or semi-detached house. So the second or third time condo buyers are keeping the prices stable, while the first time buyers are unable to help drive prices higher because they can't enter the market. They can't enter the market because prices won't drop due to money-oriented investors that have their bottom line, developers who have their bottom line, and the lack of emotions at play with the sellers of these condos. Now, for the future of the condo market, I don't see prices moving much in 2024. I think the stagnant pricing we're seeing will be the theme for the year, especially with the amount of investor-owned units that are up for sale. The majority of listings right now are being sold by investors. How do I know a listing is investor-owned? Well, the obvious sign is that the unit is tenanted, and 99% of buyers aren't even going to take a sniff at those units because of the risk involved in assuming a tenant. Then there are the vacant units, which are vacant 99% of the time because the tenant moved out and it's investor-owned. These units just don't sell in today's market because, again, that investor has their bottom line in pricing, and buyers that want to occupy the unit themselves are looking for a good price because most of the time the unit needs some work due to the neglect of being investor-owned for however many years. If I had to pick a time when condo prices may go up, then I'd say probably at some point in 2025. But that far out really is unpredictable because anything can happen. I just know it's extremely unlikely we'll see any significant price changes happen this year in 2024. If you'd like to follow the condo market yourself, some signs I recommend to look out for that prices could be increasing are if we start seeing less investor-owned and tenant-occupied units up for sale. Or if we start seeing developers launch projects again this year because it's been super quiet and there's no sales launches really. Another one is if interest rates came down, but I think interest rates might not have as much as an effect as most people hope they will. What are your thoughts? Do you think the condo market is going to keep being stale? Will there be a shift in investors leaving the Toronto condo market? Feel free to discuss directly with me. My contact info is always down in the description below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the Toronto real estate market trends that matter to you. Thanks for watching.